We're Ray and Candace.
From Need More Designs in Portland, Oregon.
We like good design and great stories.
We also love coffee and discovering new and amazing coffee roasters.
Did you know that over 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed in the world every day?
And there are thousands of small and large roasters out there roasting phenomenal coffee.
Join us as we discover new coffee, one bag, one episode at a time.
This is Unpacking Coffee.
This week, Lofted.
The most Portland of any coffee roaster we've ever covered.
Bushwick,
this is
New
so
York.
exciting.
Yeah. In fact, they get their name from roasting in an actual loft. Like under 1,000 square foot loft. They actually ran a commercial probat and stored, basically a literal ton of coffee.
They run, not ran.
Oh, they still do?
They're still in the loft, yeah.
Is this legal to talk about? I feel like there's gotta be some sort of...
Lofted was started by Tobin and Lance, who both had some experience in coffee. There was time spent at Zucca, Vivace, Stumptown, but this was their first kind of self-taught roasting experience. So I think that they really knew what they were going for when they were starting the roastery.
Candace spoke with Tobin Polk and Eric Carroll from Lofted.
My name is Tobin Polk, and I am one of the co-founders. And
my name is Eric Carroll. My official title is the Taskmaster.
But they're getting their coffee from people like Red Fox.
Yeah.
Self-taught
Roasters?
They've been around for a short while, and they're on Thrillist 21 Best Coffee Roasters. I think that they're actually the newest coffee
In
roaster
America?
to make. Yeah.
The coffee's really good, folks.
It is, yeah.
me and Lance have been good friends for a very long time, and we were living in Seattle together and wanted to do something, but also wanted to leave Seattle. So we both moved out to New York around the same time, and decided we would try to start something out here. And it took a good 4-ish years to sort of get things set up. When we first got out here, I just started riding around sort of industrial areas and looking for space to start out of. So I found a loft in Bushwick, where we are now, and we moved into it sort of and bought a sample roaster, and then actually the first thing that was in this space was it's a big open space with just a sample roaster sitting in the middle of the floor.
So Lofted is 3 people.
Uh-huh.
3 people. They haven't been in business all that long.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically, sometimes some of them are living in the loft. Sometimes some of them are living in a boat. They're self-taught roasters.
Uh-huh.
They give us a few tips for starting your own.
Roastery?
Yeah, for just kind of getting going.
Oh.
Roasting's complicated. It's not something that you can just you can't go out and read Scott Rouse's book and actually know how to roast. It's helpful to read books, that sort of thing, but when it comes down to it, taste coffee. Just know coffees and continue to cup all the time. Know what you're looking for in coffees, and then the first time you roast it, you'll taste something that you did wrong. I built out the space so that people could inhabit the space while we were also working out of it. So I built like a 2-bedroom apartment in the space. And then we started just teaching ourselves how to roast, messing around a lot, just talking with people around the area, sort of like trading information as much as possible. And then we upgraded to a ProBat L12 and started roasting on that. And once we figured out how we could, if we could, create good coffee on it. Once we figured out our style, we started to try to sell it, which we officially started selling coffee in January of 2014, so a little over 2 years ago.
So this is their coffee. We are trying the Burundi. Mm-hmm. I put out some beans here for added realism.
Our personal flavor profiles always sort of fall in line with very hyper clean, hyper sweet, very loud, boisterous coffees. So we sort of have found that, for the most part, we can only find those coffees from certain regions. Obviously, we're not into island coffees. because it just always tastes a little bit like chicken shit, I guess. So
They have a cat in their loft.
They have a cat, a roasting cat.
A roasting cat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
there's still a cat. Charlie is still, she owns this place, so it's all actually, we all actually answer to her, but
That's true.
she's busy sitting in the bottom of a giant box that used to house a Fetco right now, so.
Already
Yeah,
there.
the cat stays. I actually made a joke about when they leave, do they move to a boat? And
We categorize everything for specific purposes. So we have 3 different categories of our menu. One we call simple and sweet, one we call round and loud, and then one we call intricate and animate. And basically, anything that you would usually look for in a blend, you can find in our simple and sweet. It's going to be like strong bottom ends, like very simplistic acidity structure, well, muted acidities basically, and then just like heightened sweetness. So we kind of figure that as long as we can get people to jump on board with that process and know that we will always provide them with a coffee that's pretty close to the one they were last using for espresso, basically, then they'll be able to sort of just like use those coffees rather than like having to worry about a blend that always tastes the same. And honestly, when it comes down to it, the least you mix coffees, the better off your extraction is going to be. Happens with even like a bag that has multiple varietals. They're always going to roast a little bit different, so you might as well try to minimize the margin of error in order to continually have a consistent coffee.
Lofted Coffee of Bushwick, New York.
I almost slapped you.
No spiders.
He's a perfect stranger, like a cross of himself in a false. He's a feeling arranger and a changer of the ways he talks. He's the unforeseen danger, the keeper of the key to the lock. Know when you see him.
So Lofted, it
It's the loner.